The PL Show is brought to you by Kel Charcoal, Kel 360 and Kel Kids Toothpaste. Happy Sunday. Look at us beaming with smiles. It's a beautiful Sunday evening and this is the Kel Toothpaste PL Show. I am Keminni Amanor. The Kel Toothpaste PL Show is brought to you by the Kel Toothpaste brands Kel 360, Kel Kids, Kel Charcoal, Kel Toothpaste, Happy Smile. Today we'll be talking to a woman who has distinguished herself in the luxury events industry. I wouldn't say much so that you stay with us here on the program. We'll be right back.
Mommy.
Michelle say, fe. Yum.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Sankofa.
Yenchi. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste.
Happy Smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back to the Kel Toothpaste PL Show. Remember, our program is brought to you by the Kel Toothpaste brands Kel 360, Kel Charcoal, and Kel Kids. Who am I talking to today? I'm talking to a woman who is intentional about the luxurious lifestyle. She is the founder of Ambiance Scents, and she's also the founder of Talata Brand. Her name is Talata Maldima-Provencal. You're welcome to the Kel Toothpaste PL Show.
Thank you very much
You're
for having me.
such a queen with your name, Talata Maldima-Provencal. It sounds so good on the tongue. What does Talata mean?
Basically it's Tuesday born. I'm from the Upper East region, okay. And Talata is Tuesday born. So just like Apana, some people actually call me Apana. But
see.
Yeah, my traditional name is Talata.
But then there is also a Roberta in there.
Yes, there's a Roberta in there. So that's my government name, which we don't reveal too often. But
I like the way you say your government name. Did you use that a lot?
Yes, I used Roberta during my schooling days. So even today, sometimes I pick up the phone and go, "Hello, this is Talata," and the person will go, "Roberta." Then you know where they knew me from.
Yeah.
But yes, everybody has called me by the brand name for the past 10 years. So it's kind of stuck.
I see.
And yes.
When is the going government?
Sorry?
When is Talata going government?
We've moved for government, so now we are with Talata.
let's talk about Roberta days.
Yes.
What was growing up like and the likes?
I did have a bit of a simple, idyllic childhood. I grew up in a mining town called Akwitia. My father was a mining engineer. So I grew up in a small community. My mom was a teacher. My siblings, I come from a family of 6, so I have 3 older siblings. And we had a very simple, idyllic childhood. I went to school in Akwitia. I left Akwitia to do my secondary school in the Ashanti region. So I did St. Monica's, then went back to St. Rose's in Akwitia. So I'm a typical Achim Akwitia girl. Yeah, Talata from Akwitia.
You know, I was waiting to hear the part where you lived in the upper west region, just for a little bit. But did that ever happen in your childhood?
That did not happen in my childhood because, again, both my parents were based in the, I guess, Eastern region.
Community.
So yeah, that's where I grew up mainly.
What are some of the fond memories you have of younger Roberta?
I had a bit of a childhood where I was the tomboy. I did a lot of climbing of mango trees. I climbed orange trees to pluck them. Basically, that's the kind of community we lived in. We used to walk to our neighbor's house to go, like, you know, hang out, enjoy whatever fruits were in their trees. We move on to the next neighborhood. So it was a small community. We used to walk to school every day and walk back home. So it was quite different from what city typical city children
Right.
experience. So I did quite enjoy my childhood.
You know,
Yes.
when you said you climb trees, I started looking for the scars. Do you have any scars?
They are there.
They are?
They are there, but then we don't show them. They are there.
When you see them, what comes to mind when you see those scars? Like, Mesokrana as an Amazon de Pao.
Well, you know how they keep on saying these days we kind of shelter our children too much,
Yeah.
because it's good you ask when you see them what do you think, because again, considering where I came from, I actually try to encourage my children to be a little bit adventurous. I do have a daughter who is very, very much like me. She likes to take risks, exactly. So when I think about that, yes, and I see my daughter, I actually see that she would have fit in perfectly where I grew up, yes.
So the scars are worth it.
Oh, they're definitely worth it. They're actually what built the woman. They're actually what creates the kind of woman I am today. So
Right.
definitely the scars.
Who would you say had the most influence on you as, a growing young woman, as a child?
Not to be cliche or anything, but my mother did have a huge influence on me, because although she was a professional teacher, my mom was an entrepreneur through and through. My mom basically has done some of everything. She did tie and dye at some point. We used to joke that she was a general merchant, because there was a time when she was selling sugar, but then there were also those times when she was a full-time teacher. And yes, so my mom always set an example for all my siblings. Basically, every one of my siblings has actually grown up on the entrepreneurial track because of how we saw our mom balance it so well with what she was doing formerly. So my mom actually does have a huge influence.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. You got me excited about younger Talata. Then I want to see some pictures right now. How about we go do that?
Yes.
Here's the Seed to Oak segment. I'm happy to have seen that, because it gives me an idea of what Roberta looks like. You've always been a beautiful woman. I mean, beautiful person. Because the pictures I saw wasn't that of a woman. But you've always been a very beautiful person.
Well, thank you very much.
A quick reminder that the Seed to Oak segment is brought to you by curates. It's flavored with strawberry that will give your children the perfect taste and make it easy on them when they brush their teeth. Curates toothpaste protects your child's gum. It will prevent cavity and makes the teeth strong and healthy with freshness all day. Curates toothpaste, happy smile. Away from your childhood at home, you also had a childhood in school. Let's talk about those periods and your educational background.
Okay. I grew up in the mining town, went to primary school there, and then from there went to secondary school, both in the Ashanti region and back in the Eastern region again. After which I moved to the US to pursue my university education.
Right.
Now there's a funny story about that, because I was in school for 2 years and the entrepreneurial bug, I would say, bit me quite early. So I launched my very first business while I was still in second year of university, building websites.
Right.
So while I was working in university, I was working with the Ghana Embassy in Washington, D.C. I was managing the embassy's web presence, exactly, and building websites on the side. And at some point during that period, I decided to take a break from school to pursue my business a little bit, and to save some more money to go back to school. At least that's what I told my dad.
So had you trained in building websites?
I did. Okay, so one of my brothers actually was in the tech sector. So before I even left to go to school, I had done a little bit of on-the-job training, sort of observed what they do. So I did take a short course in web development while I was in university and started working with that. So basically, long and short of it, I decided to take a break for a little while and never went back to school. This is something I try not to talk about too much yet in my home with my children. But then I always talk about how a lot of the things I do in my career, because I started off in computer information system, and I'm now in a completely different world doing more creative stuff. So yeah, basically,
I mean,
that's it.
then again, your case may not be the same for other people, but in your situation, it was worth leaving school at the time you did.
It was because it allowed me to actually explore a little bit more. I love to read a lot, and I tend to be someone who I find something that I'm very, very interested in. I'll look for books, as many books as I can on that topic, and study as much as I can. I felt trying to pursue a computer major in school was restricting me, although at that time I was very sure I was actually going to end up in the IT field. And even with my creative businesses, my very first business that I launched when I moved back to Ghana was a wedding related business.
Right.
And when I started a business, I had this grand idea that I was launching a wedding website business with wedding stationery as a side, product.
Right.
But in the end, it morphed more into a wedding stationery business, which if you know me from the past 10 years or so, in my career, a lot of people know me as Talata, the invitation lady. So
we'll talk about Talata, the invitation lady, but let's just go back, a few steps and talk about when you were juggling a second year university, being webmaster for the embassy in DC, and then also doing your web building on a business on the side. That juggling period, share that experience with us. How did you manage?
For the age I was, it was quite exciting. It really was quite exciting because I had a full-time job with the mission. I was basically, my school was actually evening school for the most part. And it was really exciting to be able to find little pockets of time to actually also go out and meet clients who were also typically entrepreneurs starting their small business. Because again, I was working with a lot of small business owners, helping them set up their first web presence as well. So again, as far as influencers are concerned, all these actually fed into, because you meet someone, see them doing something interesting, and it makes you wonder, you know what, could I do that too? So at the end of the day, I think everything worked together to help me choose the path that I ended up choosing in the end.
How long were you in the US before you came to Ghana?
I lived in the US for a total of about 5 years before coming back to Ghana.
Okay, what was the reason that brought you back to Ghana?
So again, one of the reasons why I came back to Ghana, and it's still like in the IT related, because I actually did come back to Ghana knowing that I had had quite a bit of on-the-job training in the IT sector. So when I did come back to Ghana, I actually worked in the IT industry for another 3 to 4 years before I even went into going into creative. So yes, there was an opportunity for me to come home and work with, at the time, a new internet service provider to do product development and marketing for them.
And it didn't take long for the entrepreneurial bug to bite again.
To bite again.
So what was the first thing you dipped your toe in when the bug finally came on? Okay,
so like I mentioned a little earlier, when I moved back home, the first entrepreneurial venture for me was my wedding related business. So I've worked in the event industry for quite some time until the COVID pandemic, when events were banned. I started off again building a business where the goal was, because of my IT background, thinking I'll be building websites for married couples for their gift registry, all those things. But because there was some design element in it, we decided that when we do build a website for you, whatever creative content we come up with, we could use it to design wedding stationery for you. As fate would have it, clients started coming to me, and I started making presentations to them about, oh, we could build this website and this could be your domain name. And everybody was like, yeah, we know that, but then can we look at the wedding invitations? Because everybody was interested. And at the time, I think what was interesting for couples at the time was there weren't a lot of women in design. that 10 years ago.
Okay.
They were all used to, when they are ready for their weddings, go to Newtown and sit down with some guy.
The press people
exactly,
there.
to do their invitation. So it was actually refreshing for a lot of couples to now meet a woman who would attach some finesse to...
And some professionalism.
Exactly. It kind of morphed into a full-blown luxury event stationery business, which I did for almost 10 years. Yes, before COVID hit and things took a turn.
I see. So that business is what you call the Talata brand.
It is the Talata brand.
And
yes.
it's been around for 10 years.
It's 13 years
13.
now.
Look at that. So since 2010.
Since 2010, yes.
What is it like sustaining a business this long? What does it take?
For me, I guess I found a niche that had a high demand, where people really had the need of refined stationery, refined services in that department. So I was able to start off with a few customers who, in the end, when they say that when you do good work, it speaks for itself. A lot of my business was actually by word of mouth. So it's a lot of hard work, a lot of late nights, but then it's the dedication, the patience, and trying to be consistent with the professionalism actually took us to many places. I was eventually doing stationery for the ex-presidents. I was doing stationery for everybody. Like everybody used to joke that, oh, well, you do stationery for all the big people, because I always attached the same dedication that I would attach in my design background, the same excellence I was trying to attach to everything I've done in my past.
What was it like when you got the call from the office of the former president to do the stationery work for them?
Well, there's always that excitement, like, you know, wow, why me? You know, that kind of thing. Although you also try to, like, you know, be like, yes, I know what I'm doing.
Keep calm.
There's always those nerves. You're like, okay, who else is going to see the work? But for me, every encounter I had in my business, I always saw as an opportunity. So every time a client walked up to me, I had no idea who was going to have a piece of my work in their hand. So it was always something that I had on the back of my mind that, you know what, it doesn't matter how many of these you're going to do, the next one is going to bring you the next client.
Right.
So every encounter I had was an opportunity, because definitely even the office of the president did get the invitation from a regular couple.
Right.
And they saw it and were like, okay, someone can do this in Ghana, let's look for her.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. So when people hear luxury, and then they also hear that, you know, you've done work for the former president, then they are thinking, okay, this must be really expensive. Is that really the case, that, you know, luxury is synonymous with expensive?
Traditionally, yes. Everybody would, well, it makes sense that when we say luxury, we talk about expensive. But I think the way I choose to see luxury is excellent. It's the amount of care you put into it. It's the amount of intention you put into creating something. Definitely, if you're going to put that much care and attention and dedication to creating a product, it would end up costing a little bit more than what the average is. So that's where I guess the point of expense come in.
Right.
But then yes, you can't also present yourself as a luxury brand if you are not putting in the work to make sure that you are being consistently giving people the best as much as possible. So yes, there is a little bit of a cost factor when it comes to it. But then the question is, do people see the value in what you're giving them? And at the end of the day, if you are giving value, people do appreciate it, and they are willing to go a little bit further with their pockets.
I can imagine.
Yes.
I can imagine. Let's take a look at a typical day in your life.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
360.
Talata Maldima-Provencal is a pioneering serial entrepreneur and a visionary designer. Her unwavering commitment to excellence drives the Talata lifestyle brand. In 2020, amidst the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, Talata made a bold career shift from luxury events and design to unveil Ambiance Scents by Talata. This Ghanaian fragrance and wellness brand aims to redefine perceptions of locally crafted luxury goods from Ghana and Africa. Talata's unwavering commitment to elevating every facet of life is evident in all she does.
Wow. I love it. I love it. And you know, our viewers may not know it, but you were just telling me that the reason you were sitting behind the computer is because you were doing your own web stuff.
I think that's still one of the most favorite part of the business I do. For me, is still be able to continue design. So I do design all our product packaging myself, all our hand and body wash bottles. I worked directly with the manufacturers to design the bottles before we introduce them to the market.
And if we went to buy talatabrand.com, that's also you.
Well, yes. Well, obviously, I had to build my own website.
Yeah, you know, we would have surcharged you if you didn't. But we are happy that you did. And,
yes.
and I think that is marvelous that, you know, you still got it. And you're still doing it. 360 is brought to you by the Kel 360 toothpaste brands. If you're looking for something that works best for your entire family, including your children who are above the age of 6 years, Kel 360 toothpaste is the one to go for. It will brighten your teeth, prevent cavity, gives fresh breath with its cool minty flavor throughout the day, and it will protect your teeth from decay. Kel 360 toothpaste is another product from Samara Company Limited. Kel Happy Smell. You're still watching the Kel Toothpaste PL show. My name is Keminni Amanor. We'll be right back.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I want fat missy way.
Repacho bantama.
Matias.
It's her smile.
The fresh breath.
Me Jidi say we use Kel 360 toothpaste. Some kind.
Kel 360 toothpaste.
Gaskia, Kel 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim jom kasan. Ile ko saying. Kel 360 did the way. It's cool mint, gives me fresh breath, and your confidence booster.
Hey, you will see so feeling when you know Kel 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Kel 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Kel Happy Smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back to the Kel Toothpaste PL show. This segment of the show, we usually have, you know, present and it's always a surprise for our guests. That's why the second chair is here. So I think we should take that now. Are you ready for the surprise?
They say what maturity is when you're never surprised. Let's see.
I'll take you up on that after we see the surprise.
Oh, okay.
So let's have it now.
Oh, you are kidding me. You brought flowers.
I love it. Please take a seat. I love it.
Oh, so that was what that picking the shirt was all about.
I love to hear. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, those of you watching, I'm sure you're asking, who is this? Who is this? This is Mr. Provencal, who is the husband of Mrs. Provencal.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Edwin. I love it. I love it.
You pretended you didn't know where I was going today.
No, I didn't.
Or they just called you.
They just called.
I like how you are covering bases. I didn't. They just called me. But it's good to have you here, Edwin. You have a wonderful wife, and she's been sharing her life story with us. And so we are happy that you're here to help us surprise her. So tell us what you love most about your wife here.
Plenty.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty. I mean, she's the most amazing woman. Very creative.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen any human being who's as creative as she is. She doesn't need to go to the classroom for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything she's touched, she's explored, experimented. She reads like nobody's business. And from them, it becomes a business.
Right.
That's amazing. I mean, I like school. I like school. So every time I'm in the classroom, but she wants to do anything, she picks it up, she reads it, she experiments, and she has a business.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
Your husband is just giving us confirmation for all that you have said.
That's amazing.
What is it like hearing Edwin here say those things about you on television?
Well, first of all, thank you for coming. He knows I'm very camera shy. So this morning when we were talking and I said I was going in studio, the way he said it, I thought maybe he was surprised I was going to the studio. I didn't know you had a surprise for me. But he is one of my biggest motivators. I think I launched my first stationery business right after we got married, and he's always been very, very supportive, financially, emotionally. He's always been there. You know, he again is I like to say book long. So when it comes to the parts of my business where I don't apply all the discipline, he's always there to help me get me back on track. Awesome. So I also say I'm one of the luckiest women, and I think my business adventures have gotten to where I've been able to go because I've had him always pushing me, even when sometimes I feel like, okay, I want to do this a little bit small scale. He doesn't understand small. So
always go big.
Pushing me to yes.
When you said financial support, he goes like
I have something to say about that.
Please tell us. Give us the tea. We want to hear it.
So I think I'm the only few men in town who would sign a contract with their wife when they are giving money to her. And so I have a folder full of contracts with her. She's never paid back any of the money. And yeah, started, I mean, her first business started when she came to me that, oh, Charlie, we're going to get married. I want to do A, B, C, D, and E. This is the budget. And I'm like, Charlie, hustler like me, where are they going to get the money from? So I said, no, this is all I have. And she's like, really? It was way below the budget. She said, you give it to me. So I gave it to her. And then I'm there after we've gotten married. And she was like, I'm starting a business. Because I think, I remember doing some of the boxes with her. Some of the wedding stationery. She did it at home. So I was there with her. We're doing the cutting. I'm like, where is this all coming from? So after the wedding, people started asking, oh, can I get this? Where do you get it from there? And then it became a business.
Right.
And then that's where the loan started.
The bigger ones.
That's where the bigger loan started. But I said, man, you're going to pay me back. Let's sign an agreement. So I have a whole file of agreements.
What are we going to do about those breach contracts?
Very diligent about those ones.
And she still hasn't paid.
We'll help you collect the money. What are we going to do about the breach contract?
She still hasn't paid. But I heard that a contract between you and your wife cannot be enforced in the court of law. I think she knows about it. So she's very happy to sign. She's very happy to sign the contract.
Hurriedly.
But I'm happy about her new line. I mean, it's amazing.
If there's something that you'd want her to do more or less of, what would that thing be?
We just even had a conversation about that. Was it yesterday or this morning? I think yesterday.
Yes.
Okay. So, she says I'm book long. I'm not. I'm an entrepreneur as well. But I'm in the knowledge business. So I used to be a consultant. I consult for big businesses and stuff. So I think I know what it takes to run a business properly. And she always says she's the idea person. She's the creative person, and creative people don't like what I like. So that is our bone of contention. So I mean, to answer your question, what I would love her to do more of is that yes, you can be as creative as possible, but you need to pay attention to the numbers. The numbers, because the numbers is the business. The idea, yeah, it's amazing. Like these things, amazing. The brand is perfect. I mean, I keep getting this every year. People, I'm sure from today, nobody will bring me this because they would realize that she's my wife.
They have no idea, so they buy and bring to you.
I get this hundreds of them every year, and it's amazing. And so the only advice I would have for my sweetheart, the entrepreneur of the year, is to try and start focusing on the numbers.
Right. You're lucky to have each other. That's all I'd say.
I'm lucky to have her. I'm lucky to have her.
When we come back, should we talk about the numbers?
Oh, is this mine?
Yes, we've got a little present
Really?
for you from our sponsor.
You're so kind.
The Samara Group of Companies.
Ntuntum.
He came and he's already gotten a gift.
Oh, this is what I use at home.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually.
We are happy to give you more of
Yeah,
it then.
thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
We appreciate you more for coming and, allowing us to enjoy your company, sharing that bit with us. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I was asking, should we talk about the numbers when we come back?
Talk about it, yes.
You're here on the Kel Toothpaste PL show. Let's take a look at the DIY segment and then we'll talk more with Talata. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Talata, and today we are going to do a little bit of DIY scented candle making. The first step we're going to do is wick the jar. Most traditional candles have a cotton wick, which is the cloth one that you're used to, but then at Ambiance we use the wooden wick. You try and center it in the middle of the candle jar. That's our molten wax. It's very hot. So once you have your wax measured, you're going to first measure your fragrance to put in there. Then you stir to incorporate the fragrance into the wax base. This is what we use to dispense our molten wax into our jars for precision. Everybody's favorite part, actually pouring the wax into the jar. You try and have some of the wax run over the wick just to soak it up a little bit. It helps with the first time you light the candle. If you pour it like this, maybe late afternoon or in the evening, you leave it to sit in the same space until the next day before you attempt to move it. So that's the simple process of making your own scented candle. It's a fun hobby you could have. We do it commercially. We take it as serious business, but this is something you could also do, incorporate into your free time.
I like how you put it, so that you do it commercially.
Yeah, we don't have any hobbies.
Every hobby is a business.
Exactly.
But again, I come back to the question of how you learn these things.
Well, there are things that you have to go to school for, obviously, but then there are also things that you could learn on your own. So when it comes to the business we do right now, as far as the fragrance blending and what percentage to use when you're doing things, there is a formula to it. So obviously there's a short course here and there that you have to take to do it. But a lot of these things also require passion, because you have to be self-motivated to actually be willing to learn something new.
The DIY segment is brought to you by the Kel Charcoal Toothpaste brand. Charcoal has the essential medicinal properties that help remove toxins from our bodies. So if you have Kel Charcoal Toothpaste and you use it, you have a good fresh breath, whiter teeth. It will reduce dental plaque. It will make your gums strong, prevent cavity, and it will also help with your hangover breath. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste, happy smile. Now let's talk about Ambiance. What kinds of products do you have there?
In launching the Ambiance Scents, it was a couple of things. We originally had scented candles, which we used to have as a part of our events brand, where people used to use as gifts. But when the pandemic hit, and we had to find a way to keep going as a company. And as you all know, during that period, people were staying at home, People needed ways to uplift their moods.
Right.
We started getting a few phone calls here and there. You know what? I got a candle made by you during a friend's event. Do you still have them? So then a light bulb went off and we're like, okay, you know what? We do have this product. There's still some people's products there that we haven't yet sold. So we might as well just start selling these to people, retail, although we originally weren't retailing, to see if that could be another way of keeping the brand at full float while we wait for the pandemic to pass. But as time went on, things evolved. We did realize that we do have really high quality Ghanaian made products like skincare, body washes, lotions, etc. But then what we could bring to it as both a scent brand and a design brand was to incorporate our scents into it to make it something that is more enjoyable, more luxurious to use. And with my design background as well, I always see the importance of packaging. To present our Ghanaian made products in the best packaging possible. So that was one of the goals with Ambiance, both as a survival mechanism for the business, but also to bring a little bit of elevation in everybody's lives.
So I see this one. This one, what kinds of products?
So this bag actually contains everything that is on our product line, and it's the travel set.
Oh, right. So I see that.
We do have the travel size candle in there. There is the full size version of that over here.
I haven't opened it, but I can smell it.
You can smell it.
So good.
Yes.
Wow. What scent is this?
So that, I think, is Be Lifted. It's a citrus scent.
I was going to say that because it got citrus in it.
Yes.
Because, you know, it hits you and it's really good.
So the Be Fearless sanitizer is actually one of the things that catapulted our brand during the pandemic. Because we, again, everybody had to use sanitizer all the time.
Yeah, and they were so harsh. But this one.
So we created a sanitizer where we incorporated aloe vera and shea oil in there. So now instead of having to use those harsh products, you could use this, which would double as a moisturizer as well because it had the shea oil.
So it's not drying.
It is not drying.
I love it.
Yes. So everything you have in there is the mini version, which you can travel with. But then every one of them, we do have a full-size product for them for use at home as well.
I see. This is the
That's
oil
the
we just
oil.
saw. But I see your diffusers also
Exactly.
here. So it goes with this one?
Yes, it does go with that
So
one.
what scent is this?
That is also Be Lifted, it looks like. So that's also the citrus scent right there.
This box here smells like heaven. And you're not taking it away from here. but let's talk about, you know, I don't think it's all rosy and smelling nice like this box is. There must have been some challenges that you've encountered as an entrepreneur besides, you know, COVID. What are some of those things and how did you, you know, get out of them?
So it's funny, I'm going to bounce off a little bit about what Edwin talked about when he came in as when you are a creative and you start a business. I think for creatives, we are very, very interested in the ideas, the fun stuff, the beautiful things that we're going to present to people. And as a small business owner, one of the challenges that we face is systems, putting systems in place. Because at the end of the day, if you are a creative, there are certain things that you are not great at. You are not great at the numbers. You are not great at customer service, probably. So at the end of the day, some of the things that over the years, with the support of my partner and his constant urging, is to try to build in systems into the business. Yes, I'm not great with doing the books. So at the end of the day, I outsource that part to somebody else who would do a better job at it. We have a team in the store that actually welcomes clients. I stay in the back, I do the design, I formulate the products. As you saw, I go in the back and make candles with the guys sometimes, but I'm probably not the best person to talk to clients every time when they come in. So those are some of the measures that we are slowly putting in place to help our business also grow as a homegrown brand that, again, can also compete on the international stage, because if we are not able to do all that and we are all focused on trying to do everything ourselves, or just focused on just the beautiful pictures and not the numbers, then we end up not being able to take our businesses where we wish to take it. Yes.
It must have been challenging also juggling that with, because during that period, and like you said before, your first child had come, you know, just when you were taking off with the very by Talata brand.
Yes.
And so what are some of the challenges having to juggle being mom and being boss as well?
Well, again, obviously everyone who is a parent knows how it is to have to balance working with raising the children. For me, I do again have a very supportive spouse who, anytime he's around, my children actually enjoy spending more time with their daddy than me, because I'm always trying to, like, you know, get them to do what they're supposed to do. So yes, it's great to have a supportive system at home, but also what I do, for example, is in my business, I actually have my children come to work after school. I sit down with them, do homework, pack them off into a little room in my office so that I can continue working. I feel that I have 2 daughters, which this actually gives them also an example to see, because they see mommy working all the time. They've actually already started their own little soap business. So I feel in trying to integrate my family life into business life is something that I have done effectively to help it work out for me. In the end, I'm teaching the children something. I'm able to be there for them while I'm able to also oversee the business. It's not the easiest thing, but then at the end of the day, we weren't born to have it easy anyway. So
I like your view on life. You know, it's not easy, but we were not born to have things easy. So you find ways around that. Yes. What does the future look like for Ambiance Scents and the by Talata brand?
Okay. One of the things we are excited about right now is we are on the verge of now taking the product global. We do have people who come to Ghana, buy the product and take it back and call us, okay, what do you ship to South Africa? Do you ship to the US? And things like that. So we're trying to be proactive about that, all in the spirit of packaging locally made products and also showing it to the world that, you know what, it's not always rough around the edges when it's made in Africa. This is what we can also do, and this is our interpretation of luxury. It's not exactly how you do it, but this is how we do it, and we are proud of it to share with you.
I can still smell the, you know, the sanitizer, the hand sanitizer, and really it's not drying at all.
Yeah.
We have gifts from our sponsors for you. So we'll put that on top of this one.
Well, it's nice to, because I'm the one always packing gifts for people, so
it's nice to receive.
It's really nice to also receive, and I was getting a little jealous with Edwin's gift, so I know. I really appreciate it. After spending all Christmas packing gifts for everybody, it's really nice to also get mine as well. So I really appreciate it from Kel.
But that's not all. We also have something that we usually give all our guests who come here to place in their offices, in their homes.
Do I get up here?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Join me here. It's a symbol of appreciation. I see how you're admiring it, and I love it. It's a symbol of appreciation and also a reminder to you that you are loved, you are appreciated. We see the hard work, we see how far you've come, what you have achieved, and how far you would go. It's also got your name here, so it's customized.
Oh, wow.
And we got it in full. Talata Maldima-Provencal.
It is a long name. Thank you very much.
This is a good New Year present to you, I hope.
Yes, I really appreciate it, and I appreciate the opportunity to share my story as well.
Absolutely. Yes. And I would want you to share your New Year message for the young entrepreneurs out there, particularly young girls.
Your goals are valid, your dreams are valid. All it takes is hard work and dedication. As long as you are patient, you consistently deliver excellence, you would eventually get to your destination.
Thank you so much for coming.
All right.
You have been an absolute delight today on the program.
And it was a delightful experience for me. Thank you very much for having us.
Amazing. Thanks for coming. And thank you too for watching. We'll be back here on this channel same time next week with another enthralling episode of the Kel Toothpaste PL show. The Kel Toothpaste PL show is brought to you by the Kel Toothpaste brand, Kel 360, Kel Charcoal, and Kel Kiss. And I like how you're admiring it. I hope to see it. Would it be at the store or will be at home when I come?
Oh, it would be in my office.
Thank you and bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.